when they feel those situations. I know embarrassment is a big one for teenage girls.
I can say that I have taken some workshops with Lea. Absolutely loved them. Hi, everyone. Shaelene McInnis here with the Ontario Wellness Network digital magazine, and also with Books in Line Professional Services. We do accounting and taxes. I've been doing podcasts focusing on wellness. As many of you know, I've decided COVID was really tough on people, and it's time to focus on helping people to get well in all aspects of what that means: physical, mental, spiritual, financial, and I go on and on and on. Two of my friends do some wonderful work in this field, and which is why I wanted them as guests on our podcast. My friends' names are Margaret and Lea. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves because this is about them, and I'd like you to get to know them, because I think once you hear what they have to say, you'll realize whether they're great guests for this show. So, Margaret, Lea, who would like to go first?
Lea can go first.
I was about to say Margaret can go first. Too humble. All right, so my name is Lea. I have lots of different hats that I wear, but my formal training is as a teacher and a life coach, and I am also a lifelong creator and maker, and my mission in life is just to bring play to any age, because I just think it's so important for everyone, and there are huge benefits to play, even as an adult.
Absolutely. And I can say that I have taken some workshops with Lea. Absolutely loved them. Every time I know she's going to be running a workshop, I will be signing up with her, because it is so important to remember to play. Thank you very much, Lea, for that. Margaret?
So my name is Margaret. I am a women's life empowerment and grief coach and owner of Evolv Coaching. Like Lea, I wear a lot of hats too. I am a certified life coach, but I also am trained as a certified vision board facilitator, and I do a lot of workshops in the personal growth industry, and I do motivational keynote speaking as well. And my big thing is teaching people how to identify and feel their emotions. We do a lot of emotional transcendence work in my coaching programs, and I find it is extremely beneficial for helping people to clear some space so that they can bring more joy into their life.
I like that very much. And Margaret is also someone I've done workshops with, so I can speak to her as well. And this is why I have these two wonderful people on as my guests. Today, we're going to be speaking about something that they've been doing together. They each have their own independent work, and they do wonderful work, but they have come up with something that they're doing together, which I think is wonderful. So I'm going to ask them to speak to that today.
Okay. So back in March of this year, Lea and I both teach at the Soulful Camps with Heather and Jenny. It's so much fun. But we saw the amazing work that they were doing there. And we both, Lea and I, have teenage daughters. And we decided it would be really important to bring that kind of work to the teenage girls, because they really, really have suffered through COVID. And even just in general, being a teenage girl. So Lea and I have collaborated, and we co-founded a camp called Unshakeable Me for teenage girls to help inspire them to be the best version of themselves and get in touch with their emotions and become unshakable. And Lea can talk a little bit more about that as well.
Yeah, I'll talk about where Unshakeable came from. We really wanted a word to describe that, like, life isn't always perfect, and it certainly is not as a teenager. It's really hard. There's going to be rough seas, and we all might be in the same storm, but we're all in different boats. And the best gift that we thought we could give the girls was to help them get through that. So that's where Unshakeable came from, is that you're going to get shaken, but how do we get through that? How do we get to the end of that? And in what state are we at the end of that? So if we can give them even just a little bit of empowerment to make them that much more unshakable throughout that, how much better ahead will they be at the end of that as they enter life as young women, which we know is still challenging and still difficult. So that's where Unshakeable Me came from, and that's our goal, is giving the teenage girls the tools that they need to just be unshakable with whatever life throws at them.
And we have a really
No,
strong focus. Sorry, Shaelene. We have a really
no. But I was just going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt. What I really like what you guys both said to me was that at Soulful Camp, there's a lot of women who were going through tough times, and you were looking at how can we help them before they get to this stage. And then, of course, talking about teenage daughters, I have 2 teenage daughters, so this is why I'm very interested in what you have to say now. Sorry, go ahead, Margaret.
Quite all right. Yeah, what I wanted to talk a little bit about how we present the program to the girls. Part of one of the big focuses that we do is to teach them about their emotions, to identify their emotions and identify them accurately. We have this huge emotion wheel that we use with the girls. So if they say, I'm feeling sad, okay, well, look deeper. Is it because you're feeling frustrated or disappointed or you're angry? Is that where the sadness is coming from? Because we as women, we're ruled by our hormones, which rule our emotions. And if we can teach the girls how to identify and allow those emotions so that they don't take over and they understand where they're coming from, it's a huge tool for them to have. But on top of that, all the things that we do to help them build up self-esteem, build up self-worth, build up their self-confidence, understand that they don't have to go out into the world for validation, that they can look within themselves for validation. How many of us grow up in the world feeling like we're not good enough, we aren't pretty enough, we're not skinny enough, we're not all of this, and that's all the external world coming at you. And Lea has created this amazing page in the journal for the girls that's like, what makes you unique? What are your superpowers, right? Like we really help the girls look within and teach them they're here on earth breathing. That makes them enough, right? They have so much to offer the world. And then we also balance that out with a whole lot of play, which Lea does amazingly well. I'm the serious one and she's the playful one. And I love it because she forces me to get out of my comfort zone too. But we play with the girls. We do crafts, we do yoga, we do meditation. We teach them about journaling. We did an amazing race with them this summer and they loved it. And it's just, how do you balance out and encourage them just to be girls, right? There's so much pressure for them to grow up so fast and be this independent, strong person. But we're providing them with a space where they can learn about themselves, but also play and have fun and connect that feminine side that so often gets squashed.
Yes. Yeah, you're so right. I think to myself of people saying, don't be so emotional. Like, yes, be emotional, please. So now I know that you had camps in the summertime. And now you have upcoming days. Can we talk about those days that you have upcoming? Because I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, I can talk about the days. We're running them separately because we don't live near each other. We have 2 kind of bases. So I'm running one in Blackstock, which is near Port Perry. And Margaret is running hers out of Stittsville, which is near Ottawa. So the idea of the day is we wanted to bring a little bit of camp throughout the year to give our campers from the summer a place to come reconnect. Maybe people who haven't been to our camps before, just to get a taste, to see what it is, to see if something that they like, and just for us to make those connections with the girls and have just a little bit of that campiness throughout the year. So the one that's coming up, mine at Blackstock, is on November 4th. We are making our own Christmas gifts so that the girls can make them and they'll have something to take away. We're also running a workshop on emotional resilience. So that's going to be identifying what those comfortable and uncomfortable emotions are and what situations cause us to feel comfortable, uncomfortable, comparing. I mean, not everybody feels comfortable and uncomfortable with the same situation. So just having a conversation around that and giving the girls a space to talk together and let them know that they're not alone when they feel those situations. I know embarrassment is a big one for teenage girls. So I feel like that one's going to come out a lot. And we're going to do all of our usual campy activities. The girls love doing henna tattoos, temporary tattoos. I might even bring out some face paint. I'm going to have Christmas wrapping paper so they can wrap up all their gifts at the end, and just a couple hours to just come together and put their phones down and learn some new skills and connect in a different way.
Okay, so that's November 4th. And what time is that from until, Lea?
It is, let me just confirm the time that 12 noon until 4 p.m.
Okay, and then what's the age when we say teenage girls? Is there a certain age limit that we're talking about?
Yeah, we say 12 to 16. If you happen to have an 11-year-old who's very close to 12, who is mature enough to handle the situation, just reach out to us, let us know, and we can chat. And if it's a good fit, then we would welcome them in.
Okay, excellent. And now the second date, Margaret, why don't you tell me about the second date in Ottawa, outside of Ottawa?
Sure. The second date we're going to be doing is Sunday, November 19th from 10 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. We're going to be at the Elmont Public Library. And we're going to be doing very similar workshop to what Lily, that's my daughter, what Leah's doing in Blackstock. We're going to be repeating that in Elmont. And yeah, so people can go to the Unshakeable Me website, which is unshakable-me at what is our website again? Oh my
Unshakable-me.com.
Unshakable.
We're almost there.
Oh my goodness. Unshakable-me.com. And under the under our workshops and events, they can find registration for both locations. And so they can register directly right off the website. But yes, what the workshops will be holding throughout the year in the Elmont, Ottawa, Stittsville area and the Oshawa, Blackstock, Port Perry area are going to be the similar workshops throughout, that the kids get the same thing at both locations.
Excellent. Excellent. So again, as a reminder to all the listeners and people watching, we will always include all of the contact information for Margaret and for Lea. And but if there's any reason you can't get a hold of them, you can reach out to us at Books in Line and we will make sure that you connect. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the Unshakable Us. That sounds interesting. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So Lea and I, when we were creating Unshakable Me, we were looking at it and we're like, I think we need something else to sort of augment and carry over some of the learnings that the girls are having. So we created another branch called Unshakeable Us, which is really for mothers and daughters to help them improve with their communication, their connection. And so we have our very first in-person Unshakable Us retreat coming up on Saturday, November 25th in Blackstock at Soul's Path Retreats. And I'm going to let Lea talk a little bit more about what we'll be doing there.
Yeah, we're really excited. It was one of the biggest gifts we thought we could give both mothers and daughters. And so at the retreat, you don't need to have a mother and or daughter to come with you. If you are a mother or a daughter, and even if you are not a teenage daughter, all mothers and daughters are welcome to come alone or together. There will be opportunities for reflection if maybe you don't have a relationship with your mother and or daughter, and there's maybe some feelings there that you want to explore and work through. Absolutely, there's benefits to some of the workshops that we're going to be working through. So we'll have a couple workshops that will be centered on that mother-daughter relationship and the emotions that come along with that, and how you can become unshakable together. Because we all know mother-daughter relationships, especially through the teenage years, can be very, very difficult. So we're going to have some workshops. We're going to have some play. We're going to have some just very fun, campy activities that the mothers and daughters can enjoy together. Lunch is provided. Snacks are also provided. And it's just going to be a really beautiful day of connecting. And we're just so excited to have our first Unshakable Us retreat.
Good. Thank you. Thank you, both of you, very much. You know, I've known Margaret and Lea for quite some time now. I've done a lot of work with them both. They really do offer a great, fun, interesting, introspective time. So it's certainly worth your time and your daughter's time. So I hope that you reach out to them and sign your daughters up for these great classes, or sign yourself up. And I'd like to thank Margaret and Lea. Thank you so much again. You guys know how much I like working with you. Thank you. You have so many good things to offer. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much for having us, Shaelene. It was
Thanks,
of course.
Bye.
Anytime.
You.